Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of the Ironman completion series with me, the LazyBoneZone. This week, the main objective is to complete as much of the early game as possible and push towards the mid-game. I did some extensive planning using my giant head and came up with the conclusion that I needed to complete Barrow gloves and gain some gear that would make the mid-game feasible. So let's use that big head of mine and fire it straight into a wall. And that is Between a Rock completed, the Forsaken Tower, took some time to play as a penguin. Clearly, they're more organised than myself. They're even doing crunches and forcing physical fitness onto me. I guess I really should go downstairs and attempt to lift some weights. But, anyway, it's enough sidetracking. That's Cold War completed. The new quest, Children of the Sun, Inacra's Lament, Rum Deal for the Holy Wrench, played Pirates in Cabin Fever, and on to Hero's Quest. This quest allowed me to purchase the Dragon Battle Axe, basically a free super strength potion at the cost of lowering attack and defense. This place holds significant nostalgia for me. I met my oldest friend on RuneScape whilst killing the dragons underneath here back in 2005. I still haven't convinced them to join OSRS though. Throne of Miscellanea completed and into Royal Trouble. I went straight to 100% approval and dumped 2.25 million GP in here, as this will provide me a way to get herbs and teak logs. If any of you know better ways to utilise this, please leave a comment down below. Roving Elves was next. I wanted to complete Morning Ends straight after, but didn't realise I needed 60 ranged. So I went over to kill Moss Giants in the Giant's Cave on Karend. I managed to collect 4 of the Moss Giant keys I needed with one to go and a couple seed drops. Always nice to get the Rana seeds. Once I hit 60 ranged, I completed Morning's End Part 1 and did a stupid light puzzle in Part 2. I don't want to cause PTSD showing that footage, so here's the reward screen instead. I purchased some Mystic Armour from the Magic Guild, which helps to increase my accuracy. I also used my other account to block Camille and avoid his strong melee attacks. After failing and falling through the floor multiple times, I finally managed to get to the bottom of the temple and complete Desert Treasure 1, unlocking the Ancient Spellbook. This will be used a lot during Slayer and Wilderness content in the future. King Rold got possessed, so I was able to enact revenge for his insults against my farming skills in a previous episode. What Lies Below completed. I learned how to use box traps on the next quest, which will be helpful in the future as I plan hunting for a Chinchompa pet, and I'll use them to boost ranged and defense to level 99. That's Eagle's Peak finished up, and I managed to complete Legends quest as well. Using all 4 of the rewards on Herblore, I gained a lovely 120k XP and unlocked the ability to make anti-fire potions. I saved Ceramic Vase, a Beast of Pottery, which unlocks the ability to complete the fights at the end of Recipe for Disaster. I have to do these fights without protection prayers, but I'm allowed to bank in between each kill, so let's get them started. The first is Agrif Nana, the Banana Demon. His magic attack is stronger than his melee, so it's better to peel him up close. Round 2 is Flambade. I don't know how, but he seemed to glitch out and be stuck after I hit him with 1 Entangle spell. I've got no complaints here, that's a free kill for me. Round 3 was Caramel. This is a play on Camille, who I cheesed earlier on, but this time I'm allowed to use Ivan's staff, and Caramel's melee attacks are much weaker than Camille's. This fight was a sweet treat in comparison. Round 4 was Dezout, and wasn't much trouble, I just kept HP nice and high. The 5th fight was a Gelatinoth Mother, a stronger version of the Dagonoth Mother, and follows an attack pattern to be able to deal damage. White, you use air spells, blue, water, orange, you special attack dunk with melee, brown, earth spells, red, fire spells, green, you use ranged attacks. I was being hit 20 to 30 damage quite often per ranged attack. I'm glad I didn't disconnect here, as this would have been a quick trip to the normal Ironman status. Yeesh. This boss caused me to eat the most food out of all of them. Finally, we fight the Coloromancer. I geared up in melee and just dumped Dragon Dagger special attacks into him to get him over nice and quickly. And with that, I've completed a huge goal of getting Barrow gloves on the hardcore ironman, which will be my best in-slot gloves for all three styles of combat for a very, very long time. But I'm not done there. I want to get up to 58 Slayer to unlock a Black Mask and a Warped Scepter. So I went and wasted all my Ivan blast charges at Steel Dragons and managed to get the Runite limbs for a crossbow. Without a Slayer helmet and low mage level, I was very inaccurate here, but I didn't have any points to skip. Surely I wouldn't get dragons again. I completed Tears of Guthix minigame to get some Slayer experience before getting my next task, which was of course, you guessed it, Iron Bloody Dragons. Of course, I'd already run out of Ivan's Blast, so I was using whatever runes I had available. Ended up finishing the task with Chaos runes. This was terrible, but I did manage to get 70 magic on the way and even caught it on camera. I had enough points to purchase a Slayer ring so I could complete Layer of Tarn the Razorlaw without doing the stupid maze. This allowed me to enchant the Salve amulets to boost damage from 15 to 20% on undead creatures. At this point, I decided to do low level Slayer tasks in order to point boost and only kill the big tasks on multiples of 10. This has some good monsters to kill, like Sulphur Lizards for noted smithing supplies, Minotaurs for scepter pieces, and of course, our favourite giant rat from last episode, Scorius. My first big task was Fire Giants, which is a boring task that will get blocked in the future. Second big task was Jellies. I learned here my mage defense gear is very bad. Even with boosted defense, I was being hit very often. A member of the clan, Lagara, showed me how the PvP arena worked, and I farmed up enough points to get 2 imbues rushing other players with a claw setup. Thank you, Iron S-Flip. It's a shame that the rewards for the PvP arena almost all failed the polls. It makes it quite hard to find fights here to get points, and most people are just boosting. The first thing I did, when I had enough points, was use one of the scrolls on the Salve amulet. Now this means the bonuses, 20%, also work with ranged and magic styles of combat. Task 40 was more dragons, who'd have guessed it, but this time they were blue. Much easier to kill, and I banked all the bones and hides since I can use them. Task 50 was Greater Demons, and I even got a free combat achievement for killing one. I was extremely close to 57 Slayer, so on task 51 I did another big task, but this time I used Joradel. I was assigned trolls and killed the ice variant, trying to get seeds and a rune warhammer. Let's get back to questing. Land of the Goblins completed. I managed to hide from the wooden Kool-Aid man and shoot him with their itty bitty bolts. That's the Great Brain robbery completed. I killed some Gorax whilst completing Fairy Tales Part 2. And then I decided to go back and farm these for a shield left half. It took me a total of 308 kills, and they caused me to bank every 10 to 12 kills due to how much damage they deal. They also hit through prayer. Next, I decided to create the rune crossbow from the limbs I received a few days ago. I thought this would be the best weapon to use on the next quest, the Path of Gluffrid. I stayed in the caves until my bolts ran out, and then used the dragon halberd whilst I was editing this video. These tortoises and terrorbirds drop a warped scepter, which is the last weapon I need to comfortably complete lots of mid-game content with, and it's a cheap price to use, 2 chaos and 1 earth. I'm currently sitting at 200 kills without the weapon, but it's a 1 in 320 drop rate. Hopefully I'll get lucky very soon. Surely I can't go over the drop rate on everything. The stats gained this week are as follows.
Even if I'm lonely, I'll be fine, yeah. If you're gonna call me, I'll hold that line. Don't know what it is, cause you're not my vibe, but every time I look into your eyes, it make me almost wanna change my mind. But no, I ain't no fool. Know what you do to me, my walls are up. I'll play it cool, making myself believe I'm not waiting for you. I don't need your heart now. I ain't no fool. I'm gonna play it cool.
This means I gained a total of 59 levels. The starting level was 1584 and ending at 1643. As I get higher in level, the levels will start to slow down,